The text came while I was standing in a boardroom, glass of water in my hand, listening to an investor pitch. "We need space from you. Please don't reach out anymore. At all." My wife. No call, no conversation, just a message that cut me out of the life I built brick by brick, paycheck by paycheck. And in that one line, she claimed my children too. She thought she'd sent a goodbye. She didn't realize she'd triggered something else. I didn't react, not in front of my team, not in front of the investors who watched me like hawks. I slipped the phone back into my pocket, nodded at the presenter, and waited for the meeting to end. Inside, the betrayal pressed against my chest like a knife. But I didn't bleed, not yet. We'd been married 12 years. I met her when I was broke, building a company out of a garage that smelled of oil and old coffee. She laughed at my ambition then, told me I lived in fantasy spreadsheets. But when money started rolling in, she wasn't laughing anymore. She was shopping, planning, expanding her comfort. I thought loyalty meant weathering the storms together. Turns out, she was only here for the sunshine. The signs had been there. Late nights at the gym, new perfume, the way she turned her phone face down when I entered the room. But I buried those suspicions under trust. Trust is a fool's investment when the other party has already cashed out. Now, with one message, she confirmed what I refused to see. She wasn't leaving me, she was leaving us, the family, the vows, the future we'd promised. And she was taking my kids into another man's house. That was her mistake, because I don't fight with fists. I fight with leverage. I didn't argue, didn't beg. I simply typed back, "Of course. Tell your lover I'll cancel my $500 million investor check." Then I turned off my phone and waited. By midnight, the calls began. First from her, then from him, then from numbers I didn't recognize. Her friends, her mother, even one of the kids on speaker, coached to plead. I ignored every single one. Because they weren't calling out of love, they were calling out of fear. See, her lover wasn't just a fling. He was a rival executive, a man desperate for the capital I'd promised his firm. Without it, his expansion would choke. Without it, the board would turn on him. I knew this. She didn't. To her, he was an escape. To me, he was leverage. The next morning, the news hit. Major investment deal withdrawn. Questions rise about leadership stability. His face was plastered across financial channels, pale and strained. My wife stood beside him in silence, no ring on her finger, but everyone could see the scandal written in her eyes. Her brave new world crumbled on live television. She showed up at my office 2 days later, no makeup, hair undone, the confidence stripped from her voice. "You didn't have to do this," she whispered. I looked at her the way I'd look at a stranger asking for spare change. "You made your choice, I made mine." Her lip trembled. The kids are mine," I cut her off. "You walked them into another man's house without consent. That's abandonment. My lawyers will handle the rest." Her face drained of color, because she knew I wasn't bluffing. The court filings moved quickly. Evidence stacked higher than her excuses. Texts, photos, witnesses who saw her with him while pretending to be with friends. The judge didn't need much convincing. Custody leaned my way. Assets tilted too. By the end of it, she was left with an apartment she couldn't afford and whispers in every social circle that once adored her. Her lover? He lost his position within the year. Investors don't back scandal. Boards don't forgive collapse. They imploded together. People ask me if I regret it. Regret what? Trusting her? Maybe. But dismantling the empire she tried to betray me with? No. That wasn't revenge. That was justice disguised as restraint. I didn't raise my voice, didn't lift a hand. I simply pulled back what was mine. And in doing so, I let her see what life really looked like without me. Now the house is quiet. My children laugh in rooms that don't echo with lies. I tuck them in at night and remind myself that love is proven by consistency, not words. As for her, she still sends messages sometimes. Apologies, memories, please. I don't reply, because silence is the sharpest blade I own. She thought walking away meant freedom, but all she walked into was the wreckage of her own making. And me? I walked into peace.